In 2017, Jadon Sancho was denied a World Cup win after being recalled by Borussia Dortmund, but just a year later he's made a full England squad and is a regular fixture for Dortmund, so missing out on his World Cup win was almost worth it. So who is Jadon Sancho and how is he so good? Hi everyone, I'm Ghost Masala. Welcome to the video. There may be some new people here, but I have multiple episodes of this What Happened To series as well, with such videos as what happened to Kazuki Honda, who is Shoyo Nakajima, and also what happened to Mario Balotelli, and yeah, you can check those out as well, and make sure to leave suggestions for future videos too. That's always helpful. Of course, on my channel I really like listening to suggestions and stuff like that, so yeah, make sure to do that. And yeah, this video is either going to do really well or really badly, so there may be new people here, there may just be the regular subscribers here, whatever. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Anyway, Sancho has been a brilliant player from a very young age. At just 14 he moved for £66,000 from Watford to Man City, proving how good he is, and it's quite rare for a young player to move for that much money, as young players do not necessarily develop into good older players, good young players that is, because like inconsistency, some people just don't grow as well as other people do, they don't gain the physicality, they don't gain the shot power as much as other players do later. You know, you could be a terrible young player and then when you get to maybe 16 or something like that, you just shoot up in terms of everything about your game and stuff like that. It's also hard to tell, you know, like sort of goal hangers and stuff like that, it's also hard to tell how skillful they are and how good they'll be until they get to a later age. So moving for that amount of money just shows how good Sancho was. And in addition to that, he has appeared at many youth levels for England, of course, featuring 11 times for the under-16 team, while scoring 7 goals in 11 matches, and that is amazing for international level, scoring that amount of goals. And you've got to remember, Jadon Sancho is not an out-and-out forward, he's more of a winger, so that just proves how good he is, and I mean, his record just gets better, as we'll see later in the video. And however, in summer 2017, Sancho didn't have his mind on his England career at all. Of course, he was at Man City at the time, which is a club that I support, and Man City are notorious for not letting young players develop. Literally none of their young players have moved into first team regulars. So for example, players like Alex Garcia, many of us in the past, Micah Richards doesn't play for us anymore, that didn't end well. Loads and loads of young players who just dropped off and were chucked out because they just didn't develop quickly enough. Phil Foden is of course looking to change that, however, as what we saw with Alexander Zinchenko, looked like he was going to become a regular, but now he's just sitting on the bench all the time. Hopefully that doesn't happen with Foden, but yeah. Anyway, back to Sancho, of course. This is going to mean that Sancho was looking elsewhere for a club he wanted to play, which is fair enough. And of course he had a lot of offers coming in for him after he performed so well in the under-17 European Championships, and I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, and Borussia Dortmund seemed to be a perfect fit for Sancho. Borussia Dortmund are one of the best clubs in Germany, if you don't know, and they play very attacking football, and they often field young talent. Some of the young players who come through Borussia Dortmund include Shinji Kagawa. They did buy Royce, but he was still young at the time. Lewandowski came through Dortmund. So many young players who they've bought and developed, and that meant that Dortmund is a prime place for Sancho to go, and it definitely was. And Sancho moved for £8 million, a huge fee. And yeah, so for example, current City and England star Fabian Delph, he's a regular fixture for England, plays for Man City, one of the top clubs in the world. He won the Premier League last season. He moved for that much when he was 26 years old. When Sancho moved, he was just 17. So yeah, that proves just how good he is. He's as good as Delph when he's 17 years old, when Delph was 26. It's amazing how much he moved for at that stage, and close to levels of Mbappe, who moved just a couple of years. He's just a couple of years older than Sancho, and yeah. And in October 2017, just a few months after moving to Dortmund, Sancho had the biggest tournament of his life coming up at the Under-17 World Cup. Earlier in the year, England had finished second in the under-17 Euros, so Sancho had actually scored 5 goals in 6 in that tournament, and which was amazing. So this was his chance to help England to World Cup glory. Of course, earlier in the year, the under-20 team had won the under-20 World Cup, which was the first time they'd ever done that. So, you know, hoping that the under-17 team will do that as well. Of course, Sancho unfortunately wasn't in the under-20 team. Probably should have been, to be fair. He was probably good enough to get into that team. And England have a great future ahead of them with lots of players. And Sancho played all 3 matches in the group stages, scoring a brace against Chile in a 4-0 win, but he was called back by Dortmund and was essentially denied a World Cup win. They just called him back and they were like, no, you can't play anymore, and you know, he didn't get to win the World Cup. They won it without him, so that must have been a shame for Sancho. But you know, your club at this point in a player's career, your club takes precedence over your international career. However, it wasn't without his benefits, him returning to Dortmund. Sancho made his debut just a few days after he returned, and in January he won the Bundesliga Rookie of the Month award. Not too hard of an award to win, but it showed that he'd fully broken into the Dortmund side at 17, assisting the legend Shinji Kagawa in a 1-1 draw with Hertha Berlin in January. He went on to get 4 assists that season in total, as well as scoring his first goal against Bayer Leverkusen later in the year in a game where he got a goal and 2 assists. And of course, this season Sancho has started absolutely amazingly, hence the England call-up. He's already got 6 assists already in the Bundesliga, and they've only played 7 games, so that just shows how much of a creator he is. He's turned more from a goal scorer in his youth levels to a creator now, and he also scored a goal in a 7-0 thrashing against Nuremberg. Of course, basically everyone in the Borussia Dortmund team scored against Nuremberg in that match, but you know, shows his confidence, and that meant his first England call-up, of course. And yeah, hopefully Jadon Sancho will be the future of the national team. You know, we've got England's World Cup team for 2022, and the future is going to be so amazing. We've got players such as Jadon Sancho, Ryan Brewster, Phil Foden, Solanke maybe, Calvert-Lewin, Ademola Lookman, and various other players too. Reece Oxford, if he actually manages to break through. Reece Nelson as well, playing for Hoffenheim at the moment. There's just so much quality, and I feel like the future England team will be even better than the one at the moment. And I've definitely put in the thumbnail, is he better than Ali, Kane and Sterling? Well, if he's not now, he definitely will be soon. He's going to be an England legend, and you know, if it goes well for him, he could be up there in the future, battling against talent such as Mbappe and various other players too, you know, for potentially best player in the world. But there might be a bit of an overstatement, but it could definitely happen. I like, it's not completely out of the ordinary that would happen. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you know more about Jadon Sancho than me, how did I do in my research for this video? Of course, I always try and research pretty well. Hopefully I've done alright. And yeah, make sure to check out previous episodes in the series too. I hope you like those. I definitely recommend the What Happened to Kazuki Honda one, especially as he's my favourite player of all time, so of course I would recommend that. Also vote in the poll if you haven't already, top right of your screen. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, of course, for more videos. And yeah, I'll see you next time.